Hey YouTube, it's Jim and I sit here with another video, and I'm going to be doing a review of Bret, Hart, Hitman. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. 3-disc collector's edition. I don't think there's another one. I think they just call it this collector's edition. But yeah, I got Bret Hart on the cover. There's that. There's the side. There's the back. Matches, and I'm going to read this. Bret, Hitman, Hart. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. He traveled the globe for the better part of 2 decades, winning the coveted WWE Championship as well as millions of fans. Born into wrestling, royalty, and fulfilling his destiny with a straight-laced attitude and finely tuned technical ability, he is revered in his home country of Canada and appreciated around the world. Fans identified him with his no-nonsense style, and many of his peers call him one of the great technical wrestlers of all time. A worldwide superstar, he achieved the goal in sports entertainment and suffered unimaginable personal tragedies. This is the Bret Hart story. Hear from Bret Hart himself as he takes you through his early years with Stampede Wrestling, the Hart Foundation, his reign as WWE Champion, internal family feuds, Survivor Series 1997, WCW, death of his brother Owen Hart, and much, much more. There's him and Chris Benoit, him and I think Mr. Perfect, him and Mr. Perfect, him and British Bulldog, him and Diesel. Says the best there is, the best there was, and the best there will be right there. There he is with Ric Flair, British Bulldog, and Diesel again. Undertaker, there's him with the belt. Here's the discs. They at least did different things for each disc. That's what I like. Instead of them just putting disc 1, disc 2, disc 3. They put just little different designs. There's the insert. There's the back of the insert. I don't really know what all these is, but I guess they're little article things, but I don't really want to read all these. Now let's open up the insert. The documentary, early years, pretty much the intro, and then him starting wrestling, his childhood, and talks about amateur wrestling, Stampede Wrestling, just what it is. He started at the bottom because he didn't want to be known as the boss's kid. He wanted to be one of the boys, he said. And at the beginning of it, Vince McMahon was like, I'm proud or happy or I don't know, something to see that Bret Hart put back his personal something, I don't know. It was pretty much saying that he is putting all the stuff behind him just for the DVD for right now. And that, yeah. And I don't think really many people were talking. It might have not even been other people besides Bret Hart. I think Vince McMahon might have talked a couple of times. There might have been more than just him. Hart coming to WWE when he first started, and then he was maybe going to be a cowboy, but then he decided not to be, because he was like, how many cowboys come from Canada? Hart Foundation, when he was teaming with Jim the Anvil Neidhart and had Jimmy Hart as their manager, Intercontinental Champion, just as talks about his Intercontinental Championship reign, and then making it up to the WWE Champion, and then International Star. This talks about that he's a big name now that he's had the WWE title and has been all around the world. Hart family feud is Owen and Bret, like in 1994. Iron Man match. That was WrestleMania 12 versus Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was just talking about his feud with him. USA versus Canada. That's when he turned heel, and he was saying that the USA was stupid, and then getting booed all around the U.S. And whenever he was in Canada, being cheered so much. Survivor Series 1997 talks about the screw job a little bit. WCW talks about him going to WCW. The death of Owen Hart talks about the death of Owen Hart and talks about like a little bit how he died and showed that thing that said like JR was the one that had to say that Owen Hart died or whatever. And Bret was like, I wish I would have been there with WWE at this time, or at that time. Next, problems in WCW, and that was when he wasn't really getting used much, and then Goldberg gave him a concussion, and that pretty much ended his career. And then Living It Up was just the end of it, and just the outro, I guess, sorta. And then Bret Hart interview moments on, this is still in disc 1. Bret Hart talks about the origin of the name Dungeon, being away from family on Halloween, how well the Hart Foundation got along, learning about the sharpshooter, tells a story about Owen prank calling Stu Hart, the family tree, learning the ropes, sunglasses, and being a villain. Don't really want to go in depth on the stories too much, but I don't really remember too much about the extras anyways. But yeah, he said he was like always away on Halloween, doing wrestling and the dungeon. He said he was just sort of around, he was like sort of just was sucking on a popsicle wandering around my house, and then went downstairs and saw it. And yeah, nothing else too much. Tribute videos, Dean Hart tribute video. Don't remember who Dean Hart was. Tribute to Bret Hart's wrestling colleagues who have passed away. And that was like British Bulldog and Mr. Perfect. I'm trying to think who else was passed away at this time. I don't really remember the extras too well. Extra matches: Madison Square Garden, 7/13/85, Hart Foundation vs. British Bulldogs. Madison Square Garden, 2/17/86, Hart Foundation vs. Killer Bees. On to Disc 2. Intercontinental Championship match, SummerSlam, 8/29/92, Bret Hart versus British Bulldog, Barcelona, Spain, 4/24/93, and this match was in Spain, and it had Spain announcers, or Spanish announcers, and it was weird. The older, this is not even really in an order on this is just clustered around, but like around the old ones on here didn't even have people talking, like Odessa, Texas, 3/8/89, Bret Hart versus Ted DiBiase. Saturday night's main event, 4/28/90, Hart Foundation versus Rockers. World Tag Team Championship match, WrestleMania 7, 3/24/91, Hart Foundation versus Nasty Boys. WWE Intercontinental Championship match, SummerSlam 1991, 8/26/91, Bret Hart versus Mr. Perfect. Boston Garden, 3/8/86, Bret Hart versus Ricky Dragon Steamboat. That didn't have it. WrestleMania 10, 3/20/94, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. King of the Ring semifinals, 1993, 6/13/93 versus Mr. Perfect. And if I didn't say, in the Barcelona Spain match, he fought Bam Bam Bigelow. And then on to Disc 3, a WWE Championship match, White Plains, New York, 9/29/94, Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. In Your House, it didn't say which one, 9/14/95, Bret Hart versus Hakushi. That might have been the first In Your House. WWE Championship match, Survivor Series 11, 1995. Bret Hart versus Diesel, Survivor Series. WWE Championship match in your house, 12/17/95. Bret Hart versus British Bulldog. Submission match, WrestleMania 13, 3/23/97. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. WWE Championship match, one night only, 9/20/97. Bret Hart versus Undertaker. And the last match on here is the Owen Hart tribute match. WCW Nitro 10/4/99. Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit. And yeah, awesome documentary. Matches are really good. Bret Hart is just an awesome wrestler. I'm not the biggest fan of these older, long wrestling matches that take a long time to watch because, I don't know, I like fast-paced matches that go by fast. Not like fast, but like fast-paced. His matches are really good, but they were really technical too, so they would do holds for a little while, get out, and then do another hold instead of move, 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 move. It was just like one hold and then another hold. But yeah, Bret Hart, Hitman. I'm gonna give this an 8.5 out of 10. Awesome set, really cheap. You guys should go get it. Worth the money, whatever you pay. I got mine for like $2 online, and yeah, that's my review for Bret Hart Hitman. I don't have the Bret Hart Dungeon, and I don't have the Heart and Soul DVD, but maybe one day I'll get those. But yeah, that's about it. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe. Bye.